your plans. Bring your kids, bring your family. That's the sort of event it is. We've got singers, 3 or 4, 5 different singers travelling in. We've got a group coming from New Zealand to do the haka on the stage, a free speech Christian group. It's going to be beautiful, yeah? Make your plans. As I said, we're non-stop. In between every podcast I eat, and then I have a podcast and I eat again.
Hello and welcome to the channel. What you just saw there was a video of political activist known as Tommy Robinson, and that was a clip of him because he's arranging a big demonstration for this year, the 13th of September 2025. Now, there's news recently about Tommy, and he was involved in an incident in a train station in London. I believe it was St Pancras train station in London, and he was approached by somebody. From what I've heard, it's a man that was drunk, and it sounds like he tried to attack Tommy in some way, and then Tommy knocked him out. So the man was on the floor. Have a look at the video. See what you think. Now, is always the case with these videos on the internet. A lot of the time is these videos, they always kind of show things out of context, because this video is only showing a few seconds after the incident took place, but there's no build up to the incident. It's just showing the incident after it took place. So hopefully there's in these train stations there is CCTV. So hopefully they've captured the whole thing on a CCTV, and that can be used to show what really happened, the full story, rather than just a few seconds after the incident took place, because obviously people want to know the truth of what happened in that incident. But one thing we do know with regards to Tommy Robinson is he's not the type of person that's just going to let you attack him, is he? He's a very strong-willed person. And of course, if somebody tries to attack him, he's not just going to take it, is he? He's going to fight back. Now, I mean, it's like myself. If I was walking down the street, someone tried to knock me out, I'm not going to let them knock me out, and I'm just going to do something about it. I'm going to knock them out first. Interestingly, boxer David Haye years ago, he had quite I'd call it amusing really, interview on Sky News regarding being attacked if someone attacks you, and his advice was it was I think it was a bit much for Kay Burley to take at the time, but you can understand what he's saying when he's talking about someone attacking you first. Have a listen to what David Haye said. It's a few years old now, but it's really interesting. Have a listen.
You know, if I was having this interview with somebody like Henry Cooper or Frank Bruno, they would say this sort of stuff.
They're completely different people. They're completely different people from a different era. You know, where I grew up, what I've been taught since I was a kid, I don't believe in being the victim. I'm not a big fan of being a victim. I don't like getting beaten up. I've seen it so many times. Someone waits till the other guy punches him in the face before they retaliate. And a lot of the time it's too late, particularly when you're on your own and your guy's got 4 or 5 big 18-stone dudes behind him. You've got to react as quickly as possible. And I had a fraction of a second to make my decision. My decision was, render this idiot unconscious. And that's exactly what I did. And I'll do it again. And I advise anybody out there, if you don't want to be a victim in life, you've got to go out of your way to make sure that doesn't happen. And don't wait for someone to punch you in the face, stab you, shoot you. You've got to go out there and make sure you're not the victim. And that's exactly what I did. And that's why I didn't have any marks on my face, and that's why his face was all busted up, and his coach was as well.
Okay, so, final thought.
Difference of opinion.
Haye said regarding, if someone attacks you, he's trying to say just basically knock them out first. That's what David was saying. And that seems to be, maybe, I don't know, that's what Tommy did. But interestingly, the mainstream news media has reported that he's left the country. And I think they're implying that he's left the country because he wants to flee justice. That's what they seem to be implying in the mainstream media. He's trying to flee justice and get away by leaving the country, which it doesn't really seem to make that much sense to me, because at the end of the day, if he's literally left the country because of what's happened in the altercation, if he's left the country for that reason, that means he can never come back then. It doesn't make sense really. So why would he leave the country after this incident really? Why would he do that? Well, there's a man called Ezra Levant, and he actually explains a bit more about why Tommy left the country. He mentions he had this like a news clip on X, and Ezra Levant's talking about Tommy. He's really a good friend to Tommy. He really is a good friend. And if you've got someone like Ezra as a friend, that's really good, because you can see his loyalty to Tommy, and he's really trying to, show his loyalty to Tommy, and that friendship that he's got is really strong friendship. So it's really nice to see someone, a loyal person, these days especially. But anyway, listen to what Ezra says, because Ezra's explaining what the reason is for why Tommy left the country. Listen to Ezra Levant and explain it for us.
See that the regime media are reporting that Tommy has fled the jurisdiction, but that's actually not true. It is true that Tommy later left the UK, but it was for pre-scheduled meetings, including international media interviews. He's not fleeing. He had already reported the incident to the police, and he has never in his life tried to evade authorities. You'll remember just last year, he voluntarily flew from Spain to London to present himself to the court, even though he knew he would be sent to jail. Tommy doesn't run, not from thugs at the train station and not from police.
So, of course, Ezra explains why Tommy left the country, and it's a bit different explanation to what the media seem to be implying. He had things to do in other parts of the world, and that's why he's left the country. And I'm assuming if he has left the country, it's been reported, and if he will be coming back to the country. He's not going to stay away for the country forever, is he? And he's got that meeting thing in the demonstration in September. I'm sure he's going to be planning on coming back to the UK, and obviously we'll probably have to speak to the police at some point, because obviously if an assault takes place, the police will look into it, and is a high profile. But the other thing as well is it's possible that it could be a setup anyway. It could be a setup. Some people are saying online that they believe it was a setup. Some people are claiming it was a setup, that Tommy was set up, really. And it is possible because, his temperament, the way his sort of temperament, the type of person he is, you could sort of set him up, because you could get someone to sort of cause trouble on purpose to get a reaction. And then what would happen if Tommy's in trouble again with the law, you see? He's got this thing coming up in September, so if you can get him to do something wrong, or seemingly wrong, such as the allegation of him hitting somebody and knocking them out, then obviously they could potentially jail him, couldn't they? Again, you know what I mean? Potentially jail the man again. And I think Tommy does believe, in a way, the state is against him anyway. He said that he's got a book about it, hasn't he? And the law could be used really as a way of putting him in prison, so that obviously it is in prison, is imprisoned. And of course, his demonstration, I don't know if it could go ahead without him. Maybe it could. But the point is, that's possible now. That it's going to be, it could potentially be locked up if he's charged with anything like an assault. And that's why I think Ezra's trying to raise money for him to have some legal representation if he does go to that level of having to go to court again. But it's the mainstream media do put things across in a way, don't they? In a certain way, because basically, they do call him they call him far right quite a lot. They say Tommy's a far right activist, don't they? In the mainstream media, but really, I've not really seen any evidence to support that allegation. I've never not seen any evidence that it's far right, because far right is a very sort of far right's a very sort of extreme term, really. It really someone that's far right on the extreme end of the right wing. That doesn't really, to me, doesn't fit Tommy at all. Really, he's not far right. He doesn't. Well, I don't think it anyway. If someone can prove it, send me some information or proof that he is. But as far as I can tell, from what I've seen, the evidence, I've never seen any evidence to show that he's far right. It's just, I've just not seen any evidence whatsoever. And also another thing, on his Twitter feed, he's got a Twitter, and there's this guy is originally from Barbados, and he talks on Tommy's Twitter feed. I can't remember his name now, but he's originally from Barbados. I think he came in the 70s to the UK, and he's Tommy's friend, and he's the same colour as me, basically, the guy. And basically, if Tommy was far right, I don't think he'd be letting that guy go on his Twitter and stuff like that. I mean, I could say other stuff as well, but I don't want to go into every little detail. But basically, I don't think he's far right, but there is definitely far right people that may be attracted to Tommy because they might feel he's a white man and he's speaking up for us and all this. So there is maybe some people that are attracted to him who are far right. But to me, in my opinion, from what I've seen, I don't think he's far right. And you can't just keep calling people far right anyway. Just far right, just because they've got an opinion that you don't like. Really, it's sometimes some of the names that people use, it's like they just say it without thinking about what it really means. Really strong words that people use sometimes. Calling people Nazis and stuff like that. And sometimes it's just makes sense to just really use our sense of reason and just trying to think things through, and before we make these kind of strong statements, calling people these really strong names. Anyway, I'm sure we'll find out more about the situation with Tommy when he comes back to the UK, when he gets involved with the police. You have to talk to the police, I'm sure, and it'll be an ongoing story, this one. So we'll wait and see what happens. Thank you for watching the video, and I appreciate you very much watching this video. But could you do me a favour, please, come on, just do me a favour, just subscribe to the channel and like the video, and select it where it says all so you get all notifications. Click on that, subscribe, and send it to all your friends and family. Send it to everybody send this video, because we need as many people as possible to join this channel to make it grow bigger, because at the moment it's not big enough. We need it bigger, don't we? So if you can do that, I really would appreciate it if you could subscribe, like, and send it to your friends and family.